So my name is Glen Besa. I'm actually here at the Chesterfield County Democratic Committee's booth at the county fair here. The county fair here is a great place to meet people that we may not otherwise come across, and encouraging them to vote, giving them an opportunity to register if they're not registered. And this is a very important election. This election here in 2018 may be the most important election in my lifetime. And we've heard that just about every year, but this year, I don't think we've ever seen the kind of threats that we've had before. I was around when Nixon was doing what he did, but even in that case, we didn't have the kind of threats to our democracy. We are perhaps on the verge of a constitutional crisis. We have a president in the name of Trump who literally does not seem to respect our institutions of government. And sadly, the Republican Party and the Congress is failing to step up to their constitutional responsibilities as well to call him in for the things he's doing. In denying people security clearances. Apparently now their agency is leaking security applications for people. I happen to live in the 7th Congressional District where Abigail Spanberger is running against Dave Brat. And just a couple of days ago, apparently the Republican administration released her security application because she is a former CIA agent. And the things that are going on right now are extra-constitutional. And we have a real, and this is why we need to vote. I mean, I know Republicans who are traditional Republicans and are very resentful of what Trump is doing to their party. It's no longer the Republican Party, it's the Trump Party. I certainly have respect for Republicans, people like John McCain, who just passed away, who are willing to reach across the aisle, and I think it's important for Democrats to reach across the aisle too. In fact, when any one party is in too much control, they tend to abuse power. For that reason, we need checks and balances in our system. Not only the judicial system, the legislative system, and the executive, but we also need the parties to hold each other in check because of abuse. I'll give you a great example. That's redistricting right now. I was just at the General Assembly today for the special session on redistricting, and much to our disappointment, the Democratic Party has put forth a map that, again, fails to respect the concept of nonpartisan redistricting. We're really going to need a constitutional amendment in Virginia to change this constitution to mandate that we take the power to draw these maps away from elected officials who, whether the Democrats or Republicans, want to draw a line to favor their incumbents and to favor their parties, basically having candidates pick their voters rather than voters pick their candidates, which is just an anathema. In fact, that is one of the reasons why we have this incredible partisanship right now, because we're seeing people who are elected to seats that are so safe that they don't have to worry about re-election. And as a result of that, we're seeing a failure of both sides to meet in the middle and talk, which is a really serious problem. Again, that's why we need to turn out and vote this year. We need to basically vote against Trump because the people that are running with Trump are giving him license to do whatever he wants, including threats to our Constitution. At the same time, we need to elect progressive Dems that are going to insist on nonpartisan redistricting, not redistricting that allows them to stay in office forever. But my sense is that if you're a progressive, the issues you care about will be served best by having lines drawn that are fair. Because I honestly believe that the issues we care about, whether it's Medicare, or whether it's Social Security, or whether it's immigration, whether it's criminal justice reform, whatever those issues are, most Americans see things our way. And it's only when we draw the lines in ways that favor one party or the other that the party basically tells us to go to hell. They don't need us. And so consequently, we have corporate Dems, for example, who are siding with people like Dominion, Virginia Power, on issues like solar. There's a big reason why we don't have a lot of solar power in this state. And it's because the Democrats and Republicans take too much money from Dominion, and Dominion in return asks them to block issues that would expand solar and renewable energy and energy efficiency too. I worked for 20 years for the Sierra Club. I'm not speaking for the Sierra Club. I'm retired, but those environmental issues are very dear to me. And Virginia lags behind in those issues, whether it's a governor who's a Democrat or a governor who's Republican. And the reason why is they're not being responsive to our needs because they get too much money from corporate sponsors like Dominion Virginia Power which basically owns our General Assembly. The blue wave we had last year brought a number of Democrats who pledged not to take Dominion money, but too many Democrats and too many Republicans are not willing to take that pledge, accept too much corporate money from corporations like Dominion, and for that reason, we're not being represented. Dominion's being represented, which is a real failure of our system. So I guess I'll just wrap up by saying this election may be the most important election in our lifetime because we have a president who does not respect our institutions. And I wouldn't care whether he was a Democrat or Republican, I would be working against him. In this case, he happens to be a Republican, so we need to support progressive Dems like Abigail Spanberger, who's going to be my congressman when we defeat Dave Brett, people like Donald McKeechin, and also Tim Kaine, who we hope to return to the Senate. And then we need to make sure that we remind them that they need to represent us and not corporate interests, so that we actually have a government that's responsive to us, not responsive to corporations. Get out there and vote. November 6th is a big day. If we don't win that election and basically take the House of Representatives and hopefully the Senate as well, we're going to see an onslaught of policies that we don't like and threats to our constitutional way of life. Thank you so much.